Hey y'all, welcome to Sports with P. Thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on that Dricus Du Plessis Sean Strickland title fight tonight. Just to preface, I actually train MMA, so I look at these fights from the perspective of a fighter, so I can look at the details, what my coaches have taught me, what I think went wrong, what I think went well, and obviously those guys are way better fighters than most likely you or I, and definitely me at least. So I always like to watch as many UFC cards as I can, as many fights, just to pick up some things I can bring to my gym and try out. So yeah, we're going into this one. I have my fight notes up here for each round, so I'm just gonna kind of go through these and yeah, going in. I think most people expected this to be a 5 round bout, a war. And I mean, it went to decision. I think, like I said, that was pretty expected. And overall, going in, I thought both fighters looked pretty calm. They've been here before. They've fought each other before. And off the bat, I thought Sean looked pretty calm, pretty locked in, it seemed. And, Dricus is champ right now. He's already got that champ mentality. There's no nerves there, at least that are, I mean, I'm sure there are deep inside, but visible to the casual viewer. I didn't see any nerves there. And so yeah, starting with round one. So DDP was, landing his kicks as expected, and Sean was landing his jabs as expected. And Dricus was doing his switching his stance act and like just not your orthodox fighter. He had landed, I believe 2 head kicks in the first 2 minutes, or at least semi-contact. And those add up, and then you throw in those low kicks and mid kick, body kicks, they'll start adding up. And then yeah, like I said, Sean made contact with some solid jabs there in the first few minutes, and then as the round went on, DDP just kept landing more low kicks, body kicks, and then there was 2 more head kicks. One of them was he kind of landed, but then one he definitely landed near the end of that round. And I thought definitely DDP won that first round, and based on what everyone was saying on Twitter and everything, it was pretty obvious there. And you could tell DDP was getting into his flow state at the end of that round, and Sean was hanging in for sure. I should have also mentioned I'm not really a fan of either of these fighters, so I have no bias here. I was just hoping for a good title fight there. Yeah, and then I'll get into that a little bit later probably. And then the second round, I thought Sean started pretty hot. He landed some pretty good shots. I think that start of the second round was when he landed that overhand right on DDP. And then Dricus returned a couple good sharp kicks to the body, and low kicks and body kicks. I don't recall any head kicks in that round, but I could be wrong there. And then as the round went on, DDP just kept he had way more volume, and Sean wasn't returning. He wasn't countering enough, and it was pretty obvious that he needed to do more at that point. He was picking and choosing times to attack, and during those times he was landing his jabs. He's not much of a guy to kick, so he wasn't kicking much. He was eating a lot of kicks, and as a fighter, you're usually taught if once you start eating strikes, you need a return. You gotta make sure that your opponent respects. You can't let your opponent think you're just going to come in and start landing kicks and punches and not get hit. You need to instill some fear in them there. So, yeah, Sean wasn't returning enough shots. And then now going to the third round, as soon as the third round started, you could hear Sean's corner say, "Don't let him do that for free." And that was referring to all the strikes DDP was landing, and Sean wasn't being proactive with countering and, making sure he got his. And but this third round, okay, so up to this point, I thought DDP was definitely winning this fight. And then the third round, Sean landed some solid combos. He had a 1-2. I think he had a 1-2 hook in this round that landed pretty nice. And then DDP also had some solid strikes. And overall, I thought this was a pretty even round. DDP did have that takedown in the last 30 seconds of this round, and that could have given him the edge there. But I thought it was a pretty even round, and Sean looked like, he was getting a little more proactive. And then the fourth round, this is when things got crazy for sure. You had DDP with that nice, I think it was a right hook. I can't remember, but he broke Sean Strickland's nose, and things look pretty grim there for Sean. He was bleeding hella. And yeah, I mean, at that point in most fights, things are a wrap. You take another hit or two right there, to your nose or head area, you're cooked. So um, DDP saw he wanted to exploit that vulnerability, and he started going in. Definitely he caught some energy there. The blood, like a shark in water, that blood got him going. He was going in for the kill, and man, respect to Sean. Like, Sean Strickland's no pushover, bro. Valiant effort from him for not getting knocked out there and kept it fine. I think he said you could hear him after the fourth round. He like popped his nose back in, or he said he fixed something like that. And the blood stopped a bit near the end of that round, but man, his face was bloodied. And yeah, so good stuff by Sean. At this point, going into the fifth round, you knew DDP was going to win this fight if it went to decision. So it was up to Sean to try to get a finish here in the fifth round and, get that title. And, the fifth round, this was DDP's. Like I just said, DDP had this fight in the bag. He didn't take his foot off the brake. He still made sure to get some land some strikes here and there. Sean tried to obviously get the finish, but the odds are stacked against him at this point, especially with the injury to the nose. And then I think in this round, the nose started spewing blood again near the end. And yeah, we went to decision, and as expected, DDP won. And I gotta say, I know I said I don't really like either of these fighters, more because of a personality thing. I think they're both phenomenal fighters, of course. But man, DDP has definitely earned his respect in this middleweight division. He's beat Izzy, he's beat Strickland, he's been just racking up wins, doing it in his way, with the switch in the stances, a little wider stance, with the kicks. He's just got it, man. He has some ground game to him. And, pretty easy decision to go with DDP on this fight. And, man, but I wasn't really excited for this card. I thought it was a pretty weak card for what the main event was, but I was waiting for this fight to be over because I'm excited to see Khamzat get his shot at the title in this division, man. Khamzat is a dog, and he's actually a fighter I really like. I love his backstory, and I love where he comes from. And I think he has a very, very solid chance against DDP to win this division and be champ. So I'm excited to see what happens there. And then we got in March 9th, I believe, or 8th or something, Pereira coming up. And I think Hangman fights in that fight as the right before that Pereira main event, and that should be an interesting one. Gaethje and Hangman are both really dope fighters, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, those are my thoughts for tonight's main event. I didn't really want to go over the rest of the card because I wasn't really paying attention as much. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, and what do you guys think? You guys think Khamzat has a shot against DDP, or you guys think DDP keeps reign on that division? I'd be interested to see what you guys think. And yeah, I'll definitely be putting out some more content after the Super Bowl. And yeah, see y'all later.